Good afternoon, everyone, from the Central Illinois Weather Network. I'm Larry Eastep. We are watching some flash flooding occurring in portions of southern Illinois. The front starting to move through Illinois now, and much of the severe weather beginning to move towards the east over the next few hours. But Kentucky, Tennessee still under the gun with some very damaging winds. Luckily, no tornado warnings right now in that area, and that's an improvement over the past couple of hours. But the potential for some very damaging winds through the evening rush hour in the Knoxville, Tennessee areas, Louisville, Cincinnati, still under the gun, starting to pass through Louisville now, but Cincinnati, Ohio, Charleston, West Virginia, and points south from there. Let's go to the maps. We'll show you what we're talking about. A brand new tornado watch just coming out from the Storm Prediction Center. This particular tornado watch covering a better part of the western half of West Virginia, pretty much the southern half of Ohio, rather. I do know my states, but sometimes get tongue twisted here. And Kentucky, the eastern third east of Lexington, and the mountains of Tennessee, including the Knoxville area. There's other watches in effect we'll show you here. We've got a number of maps to try to put this in a little bit of perspective. First, let's look at this area on radar from the National Weather Service and show you the storms just starting to move into this area right now, and we are seeing radar showing very clearly the line of storms starting to move into the Cincinnati area, and as I said, pushing to the eastern suburbs of Louisville now. A squall line very evident as you get down to the southern part of this squall line in southern Kentucky into Tennessee between Nashville and Knoxville. You see that kind of bowing of the line there where it looks like a backward C. That's indicative of very high winds, and you'll see that on some of these other images. Let's show you another composite here, thanks to Storm Lab, and show you these storms stretch all the way down to south of Montgomery, Alabama now, back up to the west of Atlanta Metro, probably around rush hour. You're going to see these storms moving through your area. Again, Knoxville, Charleston, West Virginia, as we move further up to the north. And we'll zoom in a little closer here in the Indianapolis area, the eastern part of Indianapolis right now, headed over towards Shelbyville, Indiana. We're looking at some very gusty winds there. We've had several warnings with that line, and now we're seeing some warnings still on the eastern half of the Kentuckiana area. And here in central Illinois, you can see there's a line of thunderstorms that are fired up from Peoria down to around the Jacksonville area. No warnings with these. Some heavy rain, though, definitely. This is going to be the last blast through central Illinois. Nothing out west of Quincy. So once those are through, we should be done with the rain and the severe weather, but still gusty winds through the afternoon. Let's take another look at this from St. Louis. Well, actually, we'll zoom out here just a little bit more, show you these rain-producing thunderstorms moving along right along I-70, and the numbers in blue there, you can't see them real well. Those are wind gusts, so we're talking 30 mile an hour, 35 mile an hour wind gusts along that I-70 corridor, and some flash flooding as well. As you remember, those areas had flash flooding earlier today. Street flooding reported at noon in Mattoon from South 9th Street and 33rd Street, several small creeks out of their banks. We have reports of, in Clark County, Illinois, Martinsville, street flooding going on there in Martinsville and Marshall. Also, city flooding in Flora and Louisville, Illinois. Some county roads blocked by high water. Arcola in Douglas County, isolated flooding. County Road 1150 East, just south of Route 133 near Arcola, has water covering the roadway. Still talking about Effingham with some flash flooding in that area throughout the afternoon possible. Also in Newton, in Jasper County, we're looking at some families evacuated this afternoon due to Appleshed Road being washed out, a culvert there washed out, and the road blocked by high water. Again, that's in Newton, in Jasper County. Chrisman reports in Edgar County as of noon 2.2 inches of rain, so I'm sure that's went up since then. And 2 miles south of Chestnut in Logan County, almost 3/4 of an inch of rain. Coles County, though, has been the one that, Coles, Effingham County, 2 to 3 inches has been common along that area, and as you can see, there's still some rain-producing thunderstorms moving through there. So that's what it's looking like on the radar to the south. We're also watching the potential, again, shifting eastward towards the Atlanta area. Additional watches are possible throughout the afternoon through those areas. And as you can see, this entire line stretching from just north of the Ohio River in Indiana all the way down to Alabama in Huntsville now. All those counties along that line in tornado watches, you can see the orange, but the yellow boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings for that entire line of storms. And that mainly is because of the wind speeds that we're seeing. Again, gusty winds with those throughout that entire area. We've had wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour with some of these storms, and with already weakened trees in many areas from the ice storms of late, that is just going to exacerbate the problem even more. So we're looking at a multi-tiered situation still this afternoon. A tornado threat, yes, not in Illinois now, but on over to the east in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, portions of western Virginia, and going on down to the south, even into portions of Alabama and Georgia throughout the afternoon. The intensity of some of these storms has been somewhat limited by the lack of sunlight throughout the day, so that has been a good thing, but they are definitely tapping that unstable atmosphere and the Gulf moisture. St. Louis radar real quick, we're still looking at wind gusts just north of St. Louis around 36 miles an hour according to radar here, and Stormlab showing that last blast of rain that we're seeing in central Illinois between Jacksonville and Peoria, moving to the east in the St. Louis area, still to move through the southern suburbs. Eastern side of the St. Louis area around Fairview Heights getting some pretty heavy rain, and north of St. Louis moving through Troy over towards Litchfield, we're going to see some rain for an hour or so as those storms move through there. But again, the only watch in effect for our area now, any type of advisory, is that wind advisory throughout the afternoon, flash flood watch continuing for areas towards St. Louis, and a flood watch in effect for us until 6 p.m. I do believe the biggest threat, though, of any flash flooding is going to be from I-70 south in Illinois as we go through the afternoon. I'm Larry Estep with the Central Illinois Weather Network.